Welcome to the RedmineX Academy. In this video I'm going to show you the very new RedmineX Secure Async Export, which is basically removing a security issue from Redmine. Because currently in the native Redmine you have Atom export and a CSV export. Once you click that, it exports all of the issues. So if you happen to have 10,000 issues here, which is not uncommon for enterprise level Redmines, you will have a downtime, because this will ultimately pile up into requests slowing down your Redmine, and this will affect all of your users, not just the user that is exporting. We are fixing that by introducing an asynchronous export, which is basically moving the exports into the background. So currently it works like this. You click the Atom or the CSV and you export the entirety of your Redmine. If you want to enable the exports, you just click this and then you have a couple of options. You have maximum saved export per user, which is set to 5, meaning in the sidebar you will have a maximum of 5 exports, meaning the 6th one will essentially delete the first one and you will have the last 5. Then if your data set is large, you will essentially wait a couple of minutes for the export to be finished, and you can get notified by an email once the export is ready. You can refresh the sidebar every couple of minutes or seconds, which is handy if you're exporting, if you're doing a lot of exports, basically. And you can assign a job queue name to the export, meaning basically you can dedicate a sidekick job just for the export, and this is up to your admin. This is not configurable by a standard user or a standard Redmine administrator. You need to have like a server administrator for that, or we can do it for you, obviously. So I'm going to enable the export, refresh the page, and show you around. The Atom export works just as in the native Redmine, and the CSV export kind of works the same way as in default Redmine, but we're adding an export range on top of the CSV export, which is particularly handy if you have a lot of records and you just want the first 5 or first 10, and you don't really need to bother with deleting the rows after in your CSV or XLS editor. So you can choose the range, first number of records or all of the records. You obviously have the encoding and the other stuff that's present in the native Redmine. And then we're introducing 2 additional buttons, XLSX and PDF. The XLSX kind of looks the same as the CSV. It has all the columns or the selected columns, meaning if you have a large data set with a lot of columns, you can just limit it to the selected ones, meaning the ones you see on the screen, or you can export all of them. The same applies to the export range. If you have a lot of rows, for example 100 or even more, depending on your Redmine setup, you can export the first 10, 5, 8, whatever the case may be, and you can decide each and every export. You click the export and the export is waiting to be processed. Since we have the refresh sidebar switched off so I can show you the actual process, we need to refresh that page. Once the XLS export is ready, you can download it, just like this. Then we have the PDF, which again has an export range, which is quite handy. You can obviously set the export name, which by default is issues and the time stamp. And then you can choose the paper size and the orientation, which is particularly handy if you have a lot of columns and you wouldn't be able to fit it into an A4 page or a portrait mode. You can switch it to landscape. Obviously, the landscape is a default option because the nature of the export is horizontal. You can click the export, and again, it's in the background being processed, meaning you can do anything as you would normally do in Redmine. You can come back to the page later and the export is going to be ready. Just like this. And you can see it's a neat export based on the settings you've set during or before the export in this model. So again, the export, the secure async export to be precise, adds 2 buttons and alters the native CSV export, but the most crucial feature is that it removes the security issue where any of your users can go, click the CSV native export and export 1000 Redmine issues, which will essentially kill your Redmine and you will see a 500 timeout error. We fixed that by introducing an async, a background export, which secures your enterprise level Redmine and makes it more stable.